Oh man, it's hard to believe I've been interviewing you for God, probably 14 years. The first time we've done this on video, it's always over the phone.
It's
So,
crazy. And I'll keep releasing new music and we'll keep talking, and it's crazy. It's like, it feels like sometimes, I've talked to certain people 100 times, which it isn't the case, but, uh, and that's just based on because there's so much going on over the past 15, 20 years. A lot of music coming out from Stryper, me, and side projects. Pretty cool.
do, do you feel like you're since since Stryper reformed, God, over 20 years ago now, and you started doing solo music again. Do you feel like you're more busy now than you were in the 80s and 90s, in the 2010, 2000s, 2010s, 2020s? Because it sure seems like you are, man.
Well, I mean, if you go back to 83 and we
Hmm.
were working hard to finish that first album, and then we released that album in July of 84. From that moment on to 91, it seemed like a blur. I mean, we were go, go, go. And it was more so with touring. Like when we would tour, we would go out and tour for 3 months straight,
Hmm.
come home for a week or two, go out for another 3 or 4 months. It was pretty insane.
Yeah.
A very aggressive tour schedule. Now we don't tour quite like that, but I would say if you just do the math on all the releases since '05 to now, we've done much more than the
Yeah.
first. Oh yeah, based on just releases. Now, in terms of numbers, no, but it doesn't. That's not what it's about for me. It's just about being creative and expressing myself musically and with the gifts that God's given me, and I keep doing that, and it keeps coming out.
Well, and back then you released music a lot more. There was less of a wait in between records back then too, because I feel like back then it was almost like a new record every year,
Yeah,
or if not every year and a half, 84, 85,
yeah.
86.
It was definitely every year, and then with stuff sprinkled in between, like
Mhm.
singles.
Yeah.
Like we recorded "Reason for the Season" and
Yes.
"Winter Wonderland" in between.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
yeah, it was just go go go, constantly in and out of the studio and constantly touring. Yeah.
I got to give you a thank you because I am so happy that you guys did Go Tell It on the Mountain on the Christmas record. That was one of my
Nice.
favorite. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Iowa, in a small country church of maybe if we had 50 people on a Sunday, it was a good Sunday. And that song reminds me of my childhood so much. And it just made me smile, made me so happy when you guys did that song.
Oh
I'm so
man,
happy, man.
that's so cool. First of all, we didn't know that, but that's amazing. I love
If
that
you did, it'd
story.
be weird.
I love that story. But second of all, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And it makes me smile too. And there's just something about it, and it's often overlooked as a Christmas song.
Hmm.
I don't even think most people relate that to being a Christian song, a Christmas song, but it is. And it's just a great hymn.
Hmm.
And so what a powerful lyric. And I was playing that locally at solo shows here in Plymouth. And I said to the guys, I said, we got to do this one. Here's my version. What do you think? And everyone loved it and we ran with it.
It was so well done, man. I absolutely. First, I loved the record, but from what I've heard of that of the master plan, man, it kind of reminds me from what I've heard so far, as I've heard the two singles, it kind of takes me back to Not Your Suicide, where it has a completely different sound than your other music, other solo records have. Like these two singles tell me that this is going to be a different album than 10,
Oh, yeah.
One-Sided War.
Yeah.
It's very musically different.
Very. I mean, I don't want to bum anyone out there, the metalheads, but it's not a metal record.
Right.
And, I think most people know that by now, but
Mhm.
it's not. And if you buy it, with the idea that this is going to be a metal record, you're going to be let down. You're probably going to want to return it. Um,
Oh,
well, because it's not a metal album, but
right.
it is. If you like good songs, if you like something that's different outside the box, you're gonna love this album. And basically, what it is musically, it's tapping in purposely into my roots from the '60s, '70s, and '80s. Probably more so 70s and 80s, but every now and then 60s. Like when I
Sure.
do the Motown kind of background vocals on Lord. You know,
Yes.
I love Motown stuff. I grew up on that.
Hmm.
People don't know that. So when I'm doing those stab, those little stabs and stuff, that's a Motown thing, and I love it. And it's weird, but it's me. And I wanted to just show a different side of who I am. And then lyrically, I wanted to kind of put my spin on a quote unquote worship album.
Mm.
And no disrespect to other worship albums, but I feel like so often they're kind of cookie cutter. They're
Yes.
kind of one in the same and very similar. This is not that at all.
Right.
This
Yeah.
breaks the mold.
Yeah, and you could tell. I loved how the title track was the first single you released because as soon as I heard the title track, I'm like, this is usually we get something heavy as the first single. This is going to be, I could tell this was going to be a different record and honestly kind of a different campaign
Oh yeah,
promoting it, honestly. But then when I heard Lord, like how you mentioned 60s, 70s, it really kind of just the acoustic guitar, just the rhythm of it makes me feel like I'm sitting around in a group of friends and we're just one dude's just playing the guitar and we're just
yeah,
singing together, it
yeah.
makes me smile, you know.
That's awesome, man. And I'll tell you, look, every song you can see the how different Master Plan is from Lord, right?
Yeah.
They're they're polar opposite songs. That's how every song on the album is. There isn't really one song that's like the other. If I had to pick two that might be somewhat similar, I would say maybe "Worship You" and "Believer."
Okay.
Maybe those are somewhat similar because they're kind of in that same pyramid building and musically speaking of the way the guitars are saturated and the bass and the drums and the tones and whatnot. But other than that, I mean, no song is the same. It's an eclectic, really unique album. Every song's different, and every song has its own signature and its own message, and it's really cool. And I'm so happy to say that it's coming out. I can't believe it because I didn't think it would ever come out, to be honest.
Why is that? Because I know you said you felt like this is a record you've been working on for a really long time. What makes you surprised that it's actually coming out? Maybe made you feel like maybe it wasn't going to.
Well, I mean, I wrote these songs during COVID,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, that's when the songs started coming out of me when we were all locked down in 2020. I started writing these songs, and then we recorded it throughout 2020 and 21, and it just kind of got finished and put on a shelf. And I'm
Okay.
like, okay, this is cool. I love this album, but nothing we can do about it right now because
Gotcha.
Stryper was busy. I had other side projects. We were touring. We had all these plans. So I do think that in God's timing, it's perfection.
Hmm.
Meaning, I think it was purposely meant to sit on a shelf for a while and then get released right now. This is a good time to release it. And I tell you what, we added real drums about a year ago and remixed it. I'm glad we did that. And I'm so thankful that I waited. And it's finally coming out. But I didn't think for a while there, I didn't think it was ever going to come out.
And I think it's perfect that you're releasing it now because in 2020 it hit really quickly, but worship music in 2020 21 wasn't as massive as it is now. And it feels like every 3 months there is a huge worship tour that nobody's ever heard of before
Yep.
that's selling out an arena. And I like how you use the term cookie cutter because there's like I don't feel like there's much substance
Yeah.
to with the worship music now. But
I know.
with these two songs we've heard, um, especially Lord, the lyrics of that song just it makes you happy when you listen to those lyrics because it's about um it's it just tells the story of what it's all about, and it
Yeah.
just even certain words that you use, your vocabulary in those lyrics, you can tell that there's thought process behind the songwriting of these songs.
Well, man, look at it. Thank you, and I'm happy to hear that. There's a lot of thought that goes into these songs, and with any song that I write, so much thought goes into it. It's important. The lyric is equally as important as the music, and the production, the vibe that you capture in producing it. But the thing is about worship too, and not to be disrespectful, because it's going to sound disrespectful, but I don't mean it this way whatsoever. But a lot of worship, not all, but a lot of worship music, I've heard it, I've learned it. I used to lead worship, and we would learn all the songs. Even then, as I was learning songs and listening to new worship songs every week to learn, I started saying to myself, "Gosh, this sounds just like that song, and this sounds just like that song, and what is going on here?" It was almost like the same writer was writing all these songs and producing all these songs, and it just all had the same footprint and
Yeah.
signature. And not that that's a bad thing or a good thing, whatever. People love it. That's fine. But see, God's not like that. God's not cookie cutter. Thank God he's not.
Yes.
Could you imagine if he was? Could you imagine if he made us all the same?
Yeah,
If he just kept
there's
churning out,
there'd be
he
nothing
kept churning out.
special.
There'd be nothing special. We're all unique. We're all different. That's how songs should be.
Yeah.
That's how
Yes.
music should be. It should be unique and special and different. And it's so formulated. I notice it in Christian music, and I notice it in country music more than any
Mhm.
other genres. Formulation, and it's like break that mold.
Yeah. There's a real sense of in authenticity or
Ugh,
just, and especially worship music, that's an issue I've always had. It's more about how can I make you feel good or how can you make me feel good?
yeah,
But not, I don't want to think about anything. I just want to feel happy when I
exactly.
leave. And that's a whole tangent that would take hours of conversation to get through, I feel like. But,
Oh,
it's
100%. Yeah, and I witnessed it. I signed with a Christian label called Benson back in
yes.
at 93, and my first
Yeah.
album came out in 94.
Mhm.
And God bless them. They took a shot on me, and I wouldn't be here without them. They really were an integral part of me and my solo history. But that being said, I'll never forget when I took meetings with them. They said some silly things. Like we're listening to a song called Jesus, right?
Yes.
And then they
Great.
pause it. They pause it and say, "Hey, Michael, is there any way you can get the name Jesus in there a little bit more? Just a little bit more." And I'm like, I'm sitting there listening to this, and it was like a joke. It's
Right.
like, is today April Fool's?
You're like, I spilled it out for you. Like
It's
literally,
like, honestly, I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And then they comments like, "Hey, can you take a little bit of the gain distortion off of those guitars, just a little bit?" Can I'm just thinking, what is this? And that's what I'm talking about. This is the stuff I'm talking about. It's
Yeah.
so compartmentalized and thought out purposely to be one specific thing. So it does this one specific thing. That's not how God works.
Right. Yeah.
It's not.
It's you can tell that, man, I want to hear the rest of the records so bad because the two songs, I mean, they're just powerful songs, in two completely different ways. Very, but what can you tell me about, because you've always had great musicians around you on your solo records. Tell who else is playing on this record with you this time around? Who
Well,
else is on here, man?
there's on drums a guy by the name of Tommy Deal,
Okay.
and I'm not even going to try to spell his name. I think it's Diehl.
Okay.
And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's a wonderful guy, and I love him to death. Such a good dude and such a killer drummer. He's playing drums on it. A guy by the name of Michael Kelly playing bass. Michael is the man. He's solid, man. Solid musician. He's playing mandolin on Faith as well. The song
Oh,
Faith. Yeah, I was like, man, we were
oh.
in the studio recording bass. I'm like, I'd love to hear a mandolin on this. And he goes, well, I play mandolin. I've got one in the car. And I just looked at him and I said, are you kidding me? And he came in and just nailed that. Uh, uh, Co-produced by Jeff Savage, this
Okay,
album. And Jeff is out of Nashville. He's worked with DC Talk and a number of other folks. A really talented dude, and he's playing all the keyboards.
nice.
Um, and Danny Bernini and myself mixed the album,
Okay.
and I'm playing all the guitars. Not that nobody knows I play guitar. I get it, but I do play a little guitar on the side. You know.
Yeah, I honestly, I remember when I read your autobiography when it came out. You did. I remember you did kind of talk about how um, people think of you as a vocalist more than they think of you as a guitarist, and that's always kind of bothered me that
Well,
that perception's out there because, like,
it,
man, you're so like, you're good, you know?
I don't know why. I don't know why it worked out like that, and I don't think it will ever change.
Hmm.
And I don't get it. It's really strange. And when I defend it, I get the impression that people think I'm an egomaniac.
Right.
And literally, that's how it feels sometimes. And I'm basing that on comments from people.
Mhm. Well, I mean,
Like, oh, dude, don't try to take the credit away from Oz. And I'm like, I'm not trying to do that. Oz is great. But I just had a guy comment the other day on it. I said something about, yeah, I don't play guitar as a joke. And he said, yeah, well, you didn't back in the old days. And I'm like, what? Where are you coming from, dude?
he didn't listen to Stryper
Just go
back in the
watch
old
the
days, I guess.
videos.
You know?
Watch the videos. I had a
Yeah.
guitar on in every video.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because like there are certain songs like especially on like To Hell with the like you can hit those high notes, but you can hold those high notes. And like the certain parts of the songs where you hit those notes are iconic moments in history. I think that that's what sticks with people, and that's where people's minds go.
Probably.
But if they've ever seen you guys live, I mean, good God, come on. I mean,
Well, the thing is too that people don't realize, and it's okay. It's not about. This isn't about me getting credit. It really isn't.
right,
But I'm one of those guys that likes to set the record straight. I like to present the facts, and when I read things online that aren't true, I got to set it straight.
right.
It just it's just who I am, and that applies to anything,
I mean, how dare
even
you be
stuff.
blunt, though? I mean, how dare you be
Yeah,
blunt and just, like you've got
it's
to sugarcoat things nowadays. I mean,
well, it's that's the thing. I don't, and
I know.
I get in trouble for it. But I was just going to say that if you go back to the first album
Hmm.
and you come, and we could go in a time machine and have everyone come to the studio, come on in, come and witness it, and see how those albums were made. I think everyone that probably would be the thing that everyone would be the most shocked by is the amount of work that I do on guitars.
Hmm.
That would probably be the shocker for people
Right.
in terms of writing, in terms of recording the rhythms, in terms of overdubs, stuff that they might think is Oz. They'd be very shocked and surprised to say, "Oh my gosh, that's not Oz." And not to take anything away from Oz. Oz is a brilliant guitar player.
Yeah.
We all know that. But for some reason, so many people just don't know I play. They come up to me all the time. Hey, we never knew you play. We saw you tonight for the first time, and that's the thing we were shocked by is how much guitar you play. And I'm like,
43 years.
oh, what do I
I know
say? It's bizarre. It's so bizarre.
you made a post when Lord came out that you were surprised that fans loved that song as much as they have loved that song. Was that because it was like you've talked about already, like musically so different than people might expect, and just fans aren't as necessarily as always as open-minded as we might like, or were you
Well,
just pleasantly surprised?
I mean, I think a little of both. I was surprised in a way where I was like happy about it, like
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised, like wow, amazing. And my thought before that song came out, and I'm not gonna lie or whitewash it at all. Uh, I thought people were gonna hate it,
Hmm.
and the reason why is Stryper has developed such a sense of metal lately,
Hmm.
and we've gotten heavier,
Yeah.
and people seem to love it. And then when you release a song like Lord, it seems like people go, you know, it doesn't have distorted guitars. Oh, it's not heavy. You know, all these
Right.
things.
But
And I just felt my heart was pounding, thinking, oh, and that's why I made comments about, but it has a guitar solo,
right.
you know. And I feel like if it didn't have that solo, I might be crucified right now. Uh,
Man, I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, 'cause you guys, even though like you guys are Stryper is heavier now than maybe ever before in certain ways, you still have great ballads like This I Pray on those records that are also very melodic, and you guys aren't heavy 1,000% of the time. You guys
I
still
know,
slow it
no,
down.
for sure.
No?
And the
Yeah.
reason for that is because I've said this many times. I'll say it again. If you go back again in a time machine to the garage days when we were rehearsing, we would listen on break. We would listen to Maiden and Priest, Van Halen, all these bands, but we would also listen to Journey, Loverboy, Survivor. So that's another musical side of us
Hmm.
that people, you know, don't know, and that's why we have two sides to our fans. We got the people that love the pop sense and the ballad, and the people that love the metal side. And we're definitely a very unique band, not only lyrically and from a Christian point of view, but musically a very unique band. I mean, Priest didn't do ballads like Honestly,
It's true. It's
and
true.
Van Halen didn't do ballads like Honestly.
Right. Yes.
Survivor didn't do songs like Yahweh. I mean,
Right.
it's just we kind of we go outside the box and just say let's just do it, and we
Mhm.
go for it, and people either love it or don't. So there
Well,
you go.
and that's and to kind of change can't change routes here. That's part of why I like Petra's new record because they've got a song like Oxygen that Petra's doing freaking reggae on this album, and then they had Friends, All in the Family of God on the first Praise record that was like literally a doo-wop song, from the 50s,
Yeah.
you know? I love it when bands like you guys switch it up, and I think that's why I love the two songs I've heard from the Master Plan, because it's very different, and I love when artists add new, different elements to what they do.
Yes.
I've listened to Lord freaking six times today, and that was before 11 a.m. So, you know,
Well, look at
um,
I think it's great too. I'm in your camp. Bands that do that, they're brave, and
mhm,
God bless them for it because I think it's so cool.
yeah,
That's exactly what this album is. Like I said, not one song is the same. Uh, we're coming out. The next song coming out is about loss, losing somebody, which we all do and have. We've lost a lot of people over the past few years, and it's a powerful song. I would say it's a ballad. It's called Again, and that's coming out next. And that's not anything like what you've heard so far. So, and then we're going to come out with the rocker, and it'll be release day. But you know, every
nice.
song's so different. And I've got a song that's a little. I don't know if it's reggae, but it's got a little bit more of that Jason Mraz vibe to it,
Okay,
called
nice.
Stronger.
Okay.
So you know, there's some stuff going on this album, man. Every song's different.
When you sit back and look at the record for what it is, I mean, I know a lot of artists don't necessarily love to listen to their music back when it's done because they've heard it, good God, so many times. But
Yeah.
when you did sit down and listen to the final record all the way through, or certain songs, like, what are you most proud of when it comes to the master plan? What does this record mean to you? Because you're an artist, you've never phoned it in. You've always put 100% into every record, and you can really feel that. So when you look at what this is when it's done, what does it mean to you as the one that really breathed life into this album?
Well, so many things come to mind. That old saying, "Good things come to those who wait." All the scriptures about patience, which I don't have very good patience.
I've got two 4-year-old twins. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I am an impatient guy. I just like to go. Just keep moving.
Yep,
Don't stop. You got to stop to pee. Are you kidding me? Let's just go. We're 2 hours away. Can you hold it? I'm that guy.
me too. Yep.
Yeah. And with that, it comes so much. But at the same time, the thing that I'm most proud about this album is that I waited. I did have patience and waited for the right time. But number two, and most importantly, is that I just made a record with no rules and regulations. No label telling me I made this without a label. So no label telling me, oh man, do it like this or do it like the last one, or can you give us this or give us that? None of that. I just did whatever I wanted to do. And I said, yes, yes, yes. And I was calling the shots on that. And I'm so happy I did. And with that comes a very special album. It's got its own signature. It's not like anything I've ever done. And it might be closest to Real or Him, but it's even not like those. And once you hear the whole album, you'll get it.
Nice. Real is still one of my favorite records, by the way. That title track, man. Oh, oh man. Love
Well,
that
you're
song.
gonna. I think you're gonna love this album. If you like Real,
Okay.
you're gonna love this album for sure.
Okay. Nice. I can't wait. I need to get Brian to send me Brian, send me the album, man. Come
Yeah,
on. You know,
get him to send it to you.
I can't wait, man. Dude, congratulations on such a great record. I can't wait to hear the rest of it. You continue to blow me away with the music every time, man. So, and thank you for continuing to do what you do after all of these years and just
And
being
thank you, brother.
real.
That means the world, man. I'll keep going as long as I can. And I feel like as long as the song's in my head, uh, then there's purpose.
Love it.
I got to keep putting them out there. So I'll keep going till I can't do it anymore.
Love it, man. What's the rest of the year look like for you? Because I know you're waiting for the record release. Solo dates this year?
Probably a few solo dates. Hopefully next year, a lot more solo dates.
Okay.
This year we got some Stryper dates. I'm working on a new Stryper album now. I'm singing the vocals for that. We start mixing at the end of March, and we'll turn it in first week of April. That'll come out probably in September or October of this year as well.
Wow. You know, you
And
guys
then,
just released a record, right? You can slow down. They,
yeah, no, there's no point in slowing down at all. And then Iconic is coming finally. We shoot videos for that in
oh,
June.
nice.
Yes.
Nice. Oh man. Just like every year, man, it's no rest for Michael Sweet, man.
No,
And never.
nope. When there is, you'll know it. Because the way it'll work with me is you'll see my socials go down.
Hmm.
They'll be deactivated. You'll wake up one day and you'll say, "What?" And then I'll do a release saying, "Guys, thank you for everything, but I'm retiring." That's not anytime in the near future,
Right.
I wouldn't say, but
Right.
I would think that's probably how it would go down. I would just wake up one day and say that I think I'm done. But hopefully that won't be till I'm 70 or 75 years old, or maybe even 80. Who knows? We'll see.
Right. Well, the music's still good. You still sound good. The message is still strong as ever. Man, I can't wait to hear this record, man. Thank you so much for doing this today and taking time out of your schedule. I really appreciate it.
Hey, brother, great job. Thank you, and I can't wait for you to hear. Come see us, and I'll meet you and see you in person. Okay.
Sounds like a plan. Looking forward to
Okay.
it.